What's up, traders? A 25-year-old kid just placed an $8.5 billion bet against the exact same AI stocks that made him rich to begin with. Now think about that for a second. That's like a guy winning the lottery and then turning around and betting his entire jackpot that the lottery itself is about to go broke. Either he's lost his mind or he sees something that the rest of us don't. This is the same guy who called the AI boom before anybody on Wall Street. The same guy who turned a $250 million fund into $13 billion. And his 13F filing just hit the SEC, and what is inside will surprise you, because he's betting against some of the same stocks that you probably own right now. Here's what I'm breaking down today. Number one, what's actually inside this kid's $13 billion fund, what he's buying, what he's dumping. Number two, the $8.5 billion bet against chip stocks and what betting against even means in plain English. And number three, the real trade hiding underneath all of this, because it is not what most of YouTube is telling you. But first, if you're new to the channel, my name is Rashad. I am a full-time options trader and I bring in the bulk of my income via the stock market. So before we begin, do me a favor, smash the like button, and do remember that this is not financial advice, nor is it a recommendation to buy, sell, or hold any equities or option contracts. All trading comes with risk and results may vary. Now, I always start off my videos with a word from God that has to do with money, wealth building, or business. And today's word goes right in hand with the concept of today's video. And it comes from Proverbs 27:23. And it says, "Be sure you know the condition of your flocks. Give careful attention to your herds." And the easy to read version states, "Know what you have and manage it well." So I hope that blesses somebody out there. But speaking of blessings, I have to shout out members of the Trade to Freedom community. So first off, we have Vincent, who printed $21,000 just last week. Ryan did nearly $13,000 on his account for the month of May. And Lejo, who's been in the community for almost 2 years now, just had a personal record and printed $51,000 in the month of May. So congratulations to you, man. And if you know anybody who's looking to trade to freedom, tell them about the community. The link is below in the description. They'll get all of my trades, access to the course, access to ask me questions at any given time, and they'll be within a community of other traders who all have the exact same goal. So if you're looking to level up your trading as we enter into the last half of 2026, come join us. We would love to have you. But also, if you already have a great thing going and you're just looking for a few setups from me, then you can think about the Bull Premium newsletter. It's only $49 per month. Every single Friday morning, you will get several trades from me that will reflect the majority of the trades I'll be entering into on that day. All right, just $49. The link is below in the description. But with that, let's get down to business. All right, now who is this guy? So his name is Leopold Aschenbrenner. He is 25 years old. And he used to work for OpenAI, and back in 2024, he wrote a now famous essay called Situational Awareness, basically arguing that AI was about to become the most powerful force in the economy, and that almost nobody was positioned for it. Now, here's the thing. Most people will write the essay, get a few likes, and then they move on. This kid put his money where his mouth is, launched a fund, and bet on the exact same topics that he was discussing. And look at the numbers here. So the end of 2024, his reportable holdings were about $250 million. The filing just dropped for the first quarter of 2026, and now it's at $13.7 billion. And so he didn't just grow his money, he put it on a rocket. So this kid went up 50-fold in the span of a little over a year. And here's how good those returns really are. And so in the first half of 2025, Leopold's fund was up 47%. All right, 47%. And I just put this comparison up here to compare him to the GOAT, the greatest of all time, who has averaged about 19.7% annualized returns over the last 60 years, which really is the single greatest track record in the history of money. You know, Buffett is like a marathon runner who never stops. He's just Mr. Super consistent. And over long periods of time, this is what you want. But Leopold is off to quite the amazing start, if I do say so myself. And so here's the honest way to say it. Buffett is the marathon, Leopold is the sprint. And thus far, nobody knows if this kid can run for the next 60 years. You know, sprinters pull hamstrings, hot funds go cold. But right now, in this one single race, the kid is flying. And so when he makes a move, it is worth it to kind of pay attention. Now, what did he just recently buy? Now, the first thing that jumps out is he did not abandon the AI trade. He kept his core, but here's what I love. He never solely chased NVIDIA like everybody else. And don't get me wrong, I love NVIDIA and I still think that it's a buy today. But it's not as impressive when everybody else is kind of doing the same thing. he was buying Bloom Energy and SanDisk before the run-ups, right? So think about the gold rush. Everybody piled in to dig for gold, and the majority of them went broke. But you know who got rich? The ones selling the shovels and the blue jeans. Leopold went one layer underneath the AI, the picks and the shovels. All right, so 3 names he's holding: Bloom Energy, that's power, the fuel cells that keep a data center running when the grid taps out. And then we have SanDisk over here, that's memory and storage, the AI's filing cabinet, if you will. And then over here we have CoreWeave, which is the AI cloud, the most direct compute play of the 3. And so power, memory, and compute. That's his foundation, but here's where it gets wild. Beyond those long positions that he purchased in the first quarter of 2026, he opened $8.5 billion in long put options. So let me teach this real fast because this is the whole video. A long put option is just a bet that a stock will go down. Think of it like insurance on a car. You pay a small premium, and if your car gets totaled or if the stock crashes, the insurance company pays you out big. But if nothing happens, then you just lose the premium that you paid. And so when I tell you this kid opened up $8.5 billion in puts, I'm telling you he took out a massive insurance policy that will pay him extremely well if the stock price falls. And look at what he's betting against. The biggest one is SMH. That's the basket of all of the chip stocks. $2 billion in puts on SMH alone. Then Nvidia, about $1.5 billion, and Oracle, $1 billion, Broadcom, $1 billion, and AMD just under. And it keeps going. He has Micron, Taiwan Semi, ASML, Intel, and even Corning. So basically every big chip name on the board. That's $8.5 billion against the exact same AI trade that made him rich to begin with. And so listen to me closely. The kid who saw the AI boom before anybody else did is now buying downside insurance on the exact chip stocks that's powering it all. So very, very interesting. Now, here is the part that's kind of confused everybody, is that at the same time he's shorting the chips, he's loaded up on Bitcoin miners, and specifically CleanSpark and Riot platforms. And everyone's first reaction is like, oh, the AI genius is buying crypto miners? Did he do that by mistake? And the answer is no. And that is the key to this whole thing. He's not betting on Bitcoin, he's betting on electricity. And so here's the analogy. During the gold rush, imagine that some of the miners had already purchased all the land that was near the river, with the cabins and the power lines already built. Now everybody wants the exact same spot. A Bitcoin miner owns power contracts, land, and big buildings already wired up for thousands of machines. And half of them are pivoting from mining Bitcoin to hosting AI because, well, that's where the money moved. So he's not buying crypto, he's buying beachfront property in the middle of an energy desert. So why does power matter this much? And here's his whole thesis in plain English. The computing power behind AI has been tripling nearly every single year. He says it's so steady that you could draw a straight line on a graph and just follow it. And so back in 2022, the big AI training run sipped about 10 megawatts. So think like maybe a little small town. And this year in 2026, we're more like a gigawatt. And that's basically around a Hoover Dam. But by 2030, will be around 100 gigawatts, which is more than 15% of all of the electricity that this country produces, just for one cluster. And so here's the scary part. AI's appetite for electricity is going straight up, while US electricity production has been flat for decades, and we barely build new power plants. And so the question that Leopold is asking is simple. Where's all this power going to come from? And so that's why he owns all the power names and the miners, and why he's gone cold on pretty much all of the chip names already priced as if nothing could go wrong. All right, so back to his $8.5 billion bet against all of these chip names. So what does this actually mean? And there's 2 different ways that we could read this. Reading 1, we could just look at this like a hedge. His book doubled in a few months. Any smart manager sitting on gains like that buys a little bit of insurance at least. You keep your winners and you pay a small premium to protect on the downside. It's boring, it's responsible, and honestly, probably most of what's going on, it's like making a fortune and then finally buying a lock for your front door. All right, so that's one way to look at it, is he's just protecting the huge fortune that he's made thus far. But then we could have reading number 2, which would be him calling the top. Maybe he thinks the chips have ran too far too fast and he's positioning for the fall while holding the infrastructure that still has room to run. And so either way, his positioning is kind of crystal clear. He kept the AI infrastructure, he shorted the chips, and he doubled down on power. Now, the $8.5 billion in puts, that is not actually what he paid, that's the notional value, aka how much stock those options control. And so the actual cost of those puts was probably a few $100 million. And so if he's dead wrong, the puts expire, he loses the premium, and the fund is completely fine. All right, a few $100 million on a $13 billion account is not a huge deal. That's like paying a $500 insurance policy on a $50,000 car. Nobody says you spent 50 grand on insurance. You spent 500 to protect the 50,000. So same thing here, big exposure, small known costs, and defined risk. And so let's bring it home. So one, he kept the AI infrastructure and shorted the chips. Two, the real trade here is power. Electricity is not crypto. He's not buying the crypto miners because he loves Bitcoin. He's buying them because they are already in a position to win when it comes to the AI trade. And three, he used options for leverage and protection with the risk cap. All right, so he saw potential rain. He grabbed the umbrella just in case. Now, here is a couple things, and this absolutely matters. One, a 13F is just a snapshot. It only shows you where he stood at the very end of Q1 of 2026. He may have already changed half of these positions. We don't know yet, okay? And a lot of these chip stocks that he betted against rallied right afterwards. So nobody knows other than him what his hand is today. All right, two, notional value is not what he paid. So don't let anybody scare you with that $8.5 billion number. He's just paying some small insurance compared to his entire fund. All right, now whatever you take from this, match it to your personal risk tolerance. But let me know down in the comments below, what do you think he's doing? Is he hedging? Or is he betting that all of the chip stocks will crash here soon? Let me know what you think. And of course, if you would love to join us in Trade to Freedom community, the link is below in the description. We would absolutely love to have you and help you reach your goals moving forward. All right, guys, but that is the end of this video, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.